Okay, let's take a look at another selection tool. We've gone through the actual lasso tool. Now we're going to look at there's another tool below it. It's called the object selection tool. But of course, there's more underneath there, and there are three of them as we can see. We have the quick selection and magic wand. We're going to get through all three of these. But let's go with the object selection tool first. So with that being said, let's come up top. And if you notice, if you saw my my lasso tool, video, you'll notice that up top is a new selection. So every time I select something, it's brand new. Whatever selections I have go away. We have our add to selection. So if I've already started selecting something, it will just add to it. It will not get it away. Then, of course, if we overlap them, and this one will subtract, wherever they overlap, will subtract away. And of course, the last one is wherever they intersect, it will stick around. So that's what we're looking with. Now, with the default, it usually comes up lasso, and there's a mode. The mode is usually a rectangle. And what will happen is you just draw a rectangle around the object you want, and it'll actually recognize it. So if I do something like this, and it's what the computer will recognize, where they think the object you're looking for. Now, it's not always perfect, but it's a good starting point. So if I want to select this little girl right here walking or running, I just want to select her, put her in the frame, and I let go, and I let the computer do its work. Notice it's actually recognizing that she is pretty much good and golden here. As you see, if we get closer, I'm just using that Control Plus to get a little closer. You'll see over here that we got a couple spots here and here. And I would go back and, with her hair, I'd go back and I could either use Select and Mask, which I've already done and covered with the lasso tools, or I could just go into the lasso tool and just kind of modify it myself, using the plus and minuses. Come back here, go into my lasso tool, come on in here, and I can just kind of hand draw this and make my own adjustments. That's up to you. I'll let you do that. But that's what one of the object selection tool is, using the rectangle. Now, they also have another one, Control 0, where it's also not a rectangle. It's a lasso. So when you have some more complex things like this gentleman right here, I don't want to get this other child in here. I can use it, and it works just like a lasso tool. Again, add, subtract, and intersect. And I can come here and get as close as I can to him and tell the computer, hey, up, let go there. I want to add to it. Let's go Control Z. Let's start again. Come around here, pop in here, and we're getting around. Now I'm trying to get as close as possible, but yet I want to still have that little buffer. Let the computer understand and kind of give it guidelines what we're looking for. And it will make those decisions. So I'm coming around here, bring it back up, and we're good to go. Now let's see what it does. And notice I've had some issues here, and these are some of the tough ones. Now I can go ahead and use the lasso again, come up here, come around here, and I'm going to add to it. And let's see what they say there. And notice it's picking things up and it's doing it. Again, I can go back, use my lasso tool, plus and minus, get rid of this elbow here, add the hand. I can do all those things. But that's how that mode works, okay? I'll just go back here and just use my lasso tool. We'll add to it. Let's go Control Plus. Come back here, and we're doing a thing. Now I'm just assuming that just because there's other skin tones there next to it, the computer was having a hard time with it. I'm going to come in here, bring that around. And I believe it's going to be like this. Let's see. Oh, almost there. Click that and do that. Now, I can actually subtract this using my object selection tool. And that one comes up right over here to the right-hand side. If you see up top, it says lasso. I'm using this box here, which is telling me that it's going to make a smoother edge. We talked about the pixelation. It won't make it a sharp pixelation edge. It actually kind of justifies and smooths it out. But we're going to come here, and this is the automatically, we're going to object subtract. So if I come here and lasso, it knows to subtract. Let's see what that does. And it really didn't do good, but I know that it works. I've done it before. This is just more of a detailed one. But there's another tool that you use. Yes, as a teacher, we realize that sometimes things don't work, and we just go ahead and run with it. But that's how you use your object selection tool. So there it is. Now let's take a look at the next one. It's called the Direct Select tool. Direct Select tool is right here. Quick Selection tool, excuse me. Quick Selection tool. You're going to notice that the boxes aren't up there. but there's something similar to it. This is the one where it's a new selection. Every time you click, it's going to be a new selection. We have add to selection or subtract from selection. This is by far is my favorite one, although I'm starting to use the object selection tool a little bit more. But here's what I like to do with this one. I like to work on the inside of my subject I need. And you're going to notice I'm going to click and hold down, and I'm going to kind of slowly paint. And the computer is going to find the edges that it thinks are similar. Come through here. And we come through here. Let's get that little white there. Now, I've got a couple things here that didn't turn out as well as I'd like it to, of course, because I got a lot of the same colors coming here, but I would come back here. I could actually subtract if I wanted to. Let's get this arm right here. And now, of course, it got way too much here. Let's go back into selection, and let's pull that back, see if I can pull that back. And I'm pulling it back just slightly, little at a time. As you can see, I got going here. Let's get rid of those here. And that here. And let's see how I can get rid of that there. And notice I'm picking that up. I know I'm not going to be able to do this because those are such similar colors. I'll have to do that with the lasso tool. But let's come here and get rid of these pants here. And notice how I'm picking up nicely just some simple things. Get rid of that shoe right there. I'm doing okay. Not too shabby. Got a little grass down here I want to get rid of. And I've got mostly what I'm looking for except for a few things. 1, 2 over here on the hand, and this part right here. I'm going to try this. Oh, it does a little bit. It does it pretty good. I'm pretty happy how that turned out. And I'm missing a little bit of the hand here. So I'd go back in there and do that for sure. But that's how you use the quick selection tool. And I think it works really, really well. But again, notice for my fine tuning, I'm going back to the lasso, the original lasso tool, and I'm using that to touch it up because I just think it's the best. Now, with every selection tool I've showed you, like when I use the lasso tool, I have select and mask. I have those tools right here. I can come back here and go through that whole process. I'm going to subtract. And I could do one of these things like this. Come on in here. Let's come back here. Paint this out a little bit. Just kind of get a good idea where things are. And let's give a little add to this because this hand here needs to be shown. And that needs to be shown here. And then I can come back, use that Refine Edges tool, and see how it works out. And let's see what the computer does. And again, it's picking up some stuff that I'm not too pleased with, but those are other things we can do for sure, okay? So just remember that. And of course, yeah, the computer's having a hard time with the shoe and the pants and everything like that. So we should go back and just use a lasso tool and touch it up. But again, also remember this. When you're using the lasso tool, get granular. Get close. I should not be coming close to working this far away. When I get into my lasso tool and I'm going to do some subtraction, I am going to get super close using that. Oop, sorry, wrong way. Holding that space bar down, getting up here, and then using that lasso tool, and I'm subtracting. I'm coming here and I'm going to define that edge. Perfect. Those are the things I'm looking for. That's what I want to see with this armpit here. Let's come here and just come close. And you could even get closer. And the closer and closer you get, the better it is. Now, mind you, if I cut off part of his shirt, no one knows what I'm cutting off. They know that it's just going to be this situation here. And those are some of the other things you got to remember. What is the audience going to see? Does it still look good? And if it looks good, you're good to go. Let's subtract that. Let's come here and do one of these. Now I'm going to, thumb got a little off, going to come up here really quickly. Subtracted that, we're going to come here and subtract a little bit more. Let's see how that one works. I'm going to leave that one in there, but I'm going to take this one out. And again, as you can see, I'm working up. I got to subtract this here. And I'm coming around, and I go in between adding and subtracting. And I'm just going ahead and I'm just looking at my work, tweaking it and touching it up. Like right here, I need to get rid of some of these. And it's really simple. Now, when we do this, and this is just all what we're supposed to do, and make this thing look good, we're going to come back here. I know that's part of his shorts, but it really is insignificant. So I'm going to come here and get rid of it just to heighten up the leg. There's a spot right here. And I want to get the shoe. I know the shoe is always off. Just because it's blurry, and that's all. Let's add that bottom of that shoe there. We're going to add part of this right here. Fantastic. I think I got most of it. Let's check that hand. Yeah, I messed up that hand right there too. Let's do some adding here. Again, it's because it's blurry, and I'm okay with that. We all make mistakes. We all do things a little bit differently. But I'm just going to mask this out. That's why it's taking a little bit longer here for you. So I apologize for all of this delay and you watching me just kind of doing the touch-ups. But here we go. Got some touch-ups here. We're good. Last one but not least, and we're going to be done. And then again, if I like it and it didn't look like the selected mask was working, so what I did is I did it myself. Come down here to the bottom of my layers, click that mask, boom, I've got them there. I can come back and touch those up. Remember, use the paintbrush. What color is it? We want to make it black to hide things. So let's come in here and notice I can hide and get rid of those. That's simple. Touch that up. Oh, a little too much. I got to harden up my layer here. Hardness of 52. And just come back here, touch things up that are missing. Lose that piece right there on his head. We're good. Get rid of that there. Kind of get rid of that there. His arm's a little off. That looks a little bit better. Got a little there. If I see things I want to add to it, of course, I can add what I need to. Okay? So there you go. And that's how you use the second selection tool. Last but not least, and you know what? I'll do the magic wand on its own.